Everybody wants to know every Kanye album ranked worst to best, but I already did that. So in today's video, we're going to be ranking every single Kanye West album from normal to absolutely insane. With that being said, the best way to let me know that you guys are enjoying these types of videos is to watch the video front to back, and it just lets me know I see that you guys are engaged on the content, and that will make me want to do more of these rank blank to blank videos. Even though I actually enjoyed this one a lot, this is the first one I've done. But with that being said, let's get right into this video. Graduation, in my opinion, is the most digestible as well as the most normal Kanye West album of all time. The production on here is very thought out, everything here is very thought out, and everybody expects that from Kanye. He's kind of a genius, but on here you kind of just, he doesn't really say anything that's too insane or too out of pocket here. As well as his personal life while this was getting released was also not that crazy, except for the fact that he was trying to beat the number of sales that 50 Cent's album had. But other than that, this album was pretty normal. With that being said, the next one I have here is Late Registration, and honestly it's a little bit close to Graduation in terms of sanity. It's a very fancy type of album, and Kanye doesn't say anything too horrible here. At the time, everybody kind of loved Kanye still. Same with Graduation. Not a lot of people had anything bad to say about Kanye. He wasn't really some crazy person. At most, he was a little bit egotistical. The College Dropout here also is not that crazy. It's pretty much just the normal Kanye. Essentially, early Kanye, young Kanye, was not very, like, seen as an insane person. I mean, he was going through a lot in terms of the car crash and stuff, but for the most part, he's a pretty normal person in here. Watch the Throne gets a little bit crazier. It's a little bit more interesting, and I still think that it's not that bad though. It was very mainstream, very normal. Jay-Z, one of the most thought out, intelligent artists, was also co-signing him this entire album. Everything along this was going very well. But here is where things start to take a little bit of a crazy toll. I mean, he's already had a little bit of craziness before this album, but Kids See Ghosts is a decently weird album, a very abstract idea at the least, and he has some crazy lines on here, crazy bars and stuff like that. But for the most part, I think it was a fairly decent, well thought out idea, and not everything was going crazy at this time. Or at least, not everything was very obviously going crazy at the time. 808s and Heartbreak is what I have at next, and he definitely started losing his marbles when his mother passed away, and you can tell that it drastically shifted him into the point where he is today, or even after that point he kind of was just going a little bit off the end. But we're gonna get into that way deeper in this video, because Jesus is King is the next one on here. The reason I have it this high though on the crazy scale is because why did he not drop Yandi? Why did you not drop Yandi? Donda was a beautiful album, and honestly, even though everybody viewed Kanye as insane at this point, he wasn't really saying anything that was too out of pocket yet. He didn't get to the Yitler situation. This was at Donda 2, which is not in this video, but around this time it gets a little bit insane, and we're kind of just seeing him become like an older person. I think it's very notable though that everybody already seen Kanye as a crazy person by the time that Donda released. So this could be one of the points where he was the least respected in terms of his sanity. But with that being said, at 4th place we have Ye. He had beef with Drake here where he gave him a beat, and Drake was pretty much done writing a song on it, which was going to be fire, and Kanye ended up releasing it and copywriting it so Drake couldn't use it. But this isn't even anything compared to the next 3. This is where we get to the craziest, the kookiest, the most insane Kanye West albums. And I genuinely think that you need to buckle up for this, because it's about to get crazy. The 3rd craziest album by Kanye West was My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, when he dissed Taylor Swift, the VMAs incident, and a bunch of other stuff. He was always on television doing some crazy stuff around this time, 2009, 2010-ish. Everybody was starting to be like, wow, what is this Kanye guy doing? He just wants attention at this point. And everybody's seen how controversial and vocal Kanye was during this time, because it is a very important and different time in his life. So when he went on vacation, he dropped one of the also very most interesting albums, My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, which was a crazy album where he experiments a lot on this album, and Yeah, it's crazy time, crazier album. But with that being said, at number 2, we have The Life of Pablo. On this album, it was a beautiful, beautiful album in my opinion. Probably his best that he's ever done. But the album was crazy. He changed it a bunch of times. Some of the songs on here were very crazy. He dissed Taylor Swift on this album and Famous. The album cover changed. He dissed Nike, Drake, as well as his former friend Jay-Z, who's friends with him again now. But all this stuff happened and he got diagnosed with bipolar disorder. Also during this album, Kim got robbed while he was performing and he had to stop the performance. Absolutely insane. But even with that being said, at number 2, in my opinion, or honorable second place, or even maybe first place, we have Donda 2. The anti-Semitism against Jewish people, frozen bank account, canceled Yeezys with Adidas. So much stuff happened there. Another honorable mention that I think is definitely needs to be included in this video is Vultures Volume 1 and pretty soon Volume 2. And the reason I'm not having it as like a actual set thing in this video is because of the fact that it's still getting released as we speak. But this album rollout has been insane so far. A lot has happened, like a lot has happened, and it's been canceled so many times. There's been so many copyright issues and so much stuff like that. I think that if this continues, then it is set to be probably Kanye's craziest album rollout, or maybe craziest album in general. With that being said, at number 1, the most controversial album in my opinion is Yeezus. This is just arguably one of the most insane out there albums that has ever been put out. Kanye was very experimental here and it absolutely changed so much of music and it was very influential. And this art here, this piece of art, also had a bunch of controversy next to it. He had a crazy belief that slavery was a choice. He went on MTV and said that, and I believe that is probably the craziest thing that Kanye West has ever said. And this is when he kind of lost a lot of respect from a lot of people, which is sad to say, but you could tell that there was definitely something wrong with him here. But with that being said, the music here is incredible. The idea of this album was incredible, and a bunch of stuff has to be said about this album. It was just a crazy album. He kind of started dropping a lot more fluently, or a lot more commonly, with his shoes, Yeezys. And yeah, Yeezus in general, the name, similar to the word Jesus, he went crazy here. With that being said though, right now if you made it this far, in the comments below, let me know your ranking of the most normal to the craziest Kanye West albums for a chance to get pinned. I'm very interested to see what you guys have to say about this, as well as if you enjoyed this video, let me know. It was very out there. I love you all very much. I'm conflicted, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.